This is literally somebody who just doesn't like Taylor Swift. Name yourself, sir. And I know this is coming from a man. I know it's a man. Welcome to the TMZ Swiftie podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Miller, and today joining us...
Hi, I'm Grayson. Thanks for having me.
Grayson Beeman, expert Taylor Swift Swiftie.
Yes.
We've got a lot to talk about, including all the trash people have been talking about, just in general. But breaking news of the day, the first trash talker, an unidentified person trashing the Tortured Poets department at Paste Magazine. So Paste Magazine did not identify the writer of this article, who said Taylor strikes out looking on the Tortured Poets department. Swift is the most famous musician and arguably person on earth, but on her latest album, she can't help but infantilize the very people who buy into her music and drive her success upwards in the first place. Listen to you, Paste unidentified writer. We don't care that she calls us out. And frankly, we deserve to be called out.
Yeah.
When we bitch and moan about who she dates. She can date whoever she wants. And I'm going to call out Swifties. I'm going to call out Swifties for doing that. I'm going to call out Swifties for the constant trying to make her come out of the closet.
Yeah.
Very inappropriate. Swifties could get carried away. And she should be like, shut the fuck up when she needs to be. He also said Sylvia Plath did not stick her head in an oven for this. When Taylor Swift took the Grammy stage last month to claim her award for Best Pop Vocal Album Midnight, she saw the spotlight as an opportunity to announce her album. Swift's music industry peers told us all that we would ever need to know. The collective disinterest across the crowd echoed through our TVs.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just saying that wasn't like the place to, like, I mean, she announced Midnights at the VMAs, which is like the Grammys is more, higher up. So I think that's just what they're going for. I understand writing a review about it. I mean, I think that everyone should be able to review it in a honest way. I do think that bashing is not okay. It takes away your, credibility.
There's nothing poetic about a billionaire who, mind you, threatens legal action against a Twitter account for tracking her destructive private jet pass, telling stadiums, thousands of people every night that she sees and adores them. I hate this guy.
It's a little...
All of this isn't reviewing the album.
Yeah.
It's talking trash about Taylor Swift and talking about how they don't like her. Like, to be honest, whoever wrote this, name yourself.
Well, I don't think they should name themselves.
You should name yourself.
Swifties are crazy. They're gonna say things that they shouldn't say. I think that.
Oh, please.
Granted, I think.
Listen, Olivia Rodrigo fans came for me over and over and over again when I
also did come for you a little bit too.
First of all, but like all of the threats online, like all they did was call me fat and stupid.
Which is not. I mean, that's my whole point of this is like when you review something or you do something, it should be in a engaging way, and it also should be like you don't need to tear down. Like that's where I'm saying is like with this review. I do think that they should remain anonymous just because...
No, if you're going to speak your mind, you can't do it anonymously anymore.
Well, just because
Stand
of the
behind,
scope of it.
This is just another keyboard warrior because everyone that comments about how fat and ugly I am, about Olivia Rodrigo, which wasn't hate, by the way, I just said give Taylor Swift credit for trailblazing. It's just people with anonymous accounts who have a fake photo and no posts. Don't be a keyboard warrior. If you're going to stand on something, stand on it. But if you're not going to stand on it, then say nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
don't be an anonymous hater online.
Yeah, I get that, and especially when it comes to like reviewing the album, I think people should be able to sit with it and then review it in the way that they see it. I don't think people should be attacked for if you don't like the album, that's great.
The midness of the Tortured Poets department will not be a net loss for Swift. She'll sell out arenas and get her streams until she elects to quit this business, a phrase decidedly not in her vocabulary, surely. She will sell more merch bundles and vinyl plants and have the capacity to make and rows of variants. LP copies will haunt the record aisles of Target stores just as long as Midnight has, if not longer. This is literally somebody who just doesn't like Taylor Swift.
They seem a little bitter.
This is an inappropriate person. Name yourself, sir. And I know this is coming from a man. I
understand,
know it's a man.
Like naming and putting it behind it. If it was like, okay, again, you can have a negative review about this album. It can't just be destroying her. Like, it needs to be cohesive. Yeah, it needs to be good. Like, give us a reason. But
what's the reason?
I also understand with this album. I think it's a good album. Yes. Did I like it when I first heard it? No. It grew on me. I will say.
Right.
It has to. You have to. But that's the thing with music in general. You have to sit with it. It's not something that you can hear once and just be like.
But also, it's like a tortured, sad album. Like, you're not gonna understand it right away. And 31 songs in one sitting is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And it's like it was at midnight. We're all tired. We're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And so coming from Swifties that are like, hold on, we just need a moment with this. I was like having a hard time deciphering between the tracks. And I have taken the weekend and I'm like, damn, each song is a fucking banger.
It takes time, especially with 31 songs, 2 hours and 2 minutes. Like, you need time to sit with that rather than just being, you can say, oh, I don't like it, but like sit with it for a little bit and then come back and be like, this is why I don't like it. Don't just be like, it's a bad album.
The point we're trying to make is, or at least me, reveal yourself.
Hide from Swifties. That's what.
No, like I think the death threats that people keep talking about with Swifties is absolutely asinine. Like,
well, I think Swifties are a different breed, and I think they do make those threats.
They do, but I don't think they mean them.
I don't think they follow through. But again, all it takes is one crazy person. So I understand wanting to hide yourself.
It's
on
truthfully
that review,
pathetic.
Yeah,
it's pathetic.
I don't like the bashing. That's what I don't, especially when you have that platform.
I really don't like that you can just hide from this. Pace, you should feel ashamed of yourself.
I do think that Swifties are probably going to find the person, even with them.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Next breaking news topic of the day: Taylor Swift is more athletic than Tom Brady, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Truly, any athlete you consider the GOAT, Taylor Swift is going to be a better athlete than that person. So her trainer has broken down her workout routine. We got a little snippet of this from her Fortnight video of her in the dog pound gym. So her trainer goes on to talk about how he provided a roadmap on how Taylor prepped for her Eras tour, where she performs for 3 hours and 15 minutes. He says they choreographed her workout like a professional athlete with an off-season when she wasn't touring and an in-season when she was performing. Off-season training was rough. Taylor trained for up to 6 days a week for about 2 hours a day. She zeroed in on improving her strength and conditioning while also focusing on core exercises for balance and stability, which would help her dance and maneuver on stage. While she was on the road, Taylor dove into in-season training to maintain her stability, mobility, and strength. She would do biochemical stretches to strengthen her spine, soft tissue, and other joints, rich people shit. Myers said Taylor was so committed to her exercise routine, she would perform 4 concerts in a row with super intensity and still show up to the gym. Taylor is the most resilient person I've ever met, adding that she always persevered with each difficult challenge before moving on. I give up halfway through an exercise each and every single time.
I mean, I do think it is a rigorous workout. I think that it has to be, especially when you're performing 3 hours almost every night.
Perform one song of karaoke.
Yeah, I mean, even just seeing like that workout was intense, and I mean, I understand having to perform
with the
like,
weight
the off season.
She puts on her ankles.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, she definitely does a lot. I don't think like year round, like once the Eras tour is over, like she's not going to continue this. That's why I think that like she's going to continue working out. I'm just saying she's not going to continue this exact one. Yeah. So in a sense, right now she is performing as well as like an athlete, but I think longevity, I think that her workouts will probably go back to just like running, because I know she's been a runner for a while. She's also done those commercials of her running, which are hilarious. But I mean, overall, like that's intense. Like 3 hours performing regardless, even if you didn't work out, just the 3 hours performance alone is rigorous.
I just think that it's annoying how many people think that she's not in great shape, and it's like she's probably the best in shape in the entire world.
Well, I think I think that different people like have different opinions on it, and again, it goes back to what you're saying, where it's always meant.
Grayson, I need you to get your own opinion.
No, I'm saying like you're saying like males, like you were saying like, oh, it has to be a man. Like a lot of the people bashing her about her body are men. That it's not like, I mean, yes, there's women there, but majority of them are men sitting behind a keyboard being like, oh, you need to look like that. You need to look like this. No, she's fine the way she is. And like, let the woman breathe, you know?
Breathe.
There's my opinion right there.
No, she literally can't breathe because she's too busy working out.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But I know that from my perspective, I can hold a plank for 30 seconds.
They should make a Taylor Swift workout class. That would be fun. Yeah, of just the like training of that. That would be.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. I know there's like Swiftie workouts where you just
That
listen to music.
LA class, if this guy was like, this is a Taylor Swift workout,
Yeah.
because people already, when she said what she did, she would run on the treadmill based on how fast or slow the song was.
Yeah.
People were doing that right away. This would be the top selling workout of all time, the Taylor Swift workout.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it through
It would
20
sell,
minutes of
yeah.
this thing.
It's just the treadmills, the hot Taylor walk. Have you done those?
The hot Taylor walk.
Fun. Yeah.
They're really
They're
fun.
really fun.
Yeah, I finally got back in the gym when they finally put Eras Tour on Disney Plus because I
Oh, you just sit there for 3 hours.
No, I mean it took me 4 different workouts to get. Moving on, Taylor Swift posted a clip promoting Fortnite.
And for a fortnight there we were, forever running to you sometimes. Ask about whoever, now you're in my backyard, turn into good neighbors.
So it starts out her on the microphone singing, and then we now know why Taylor did not attend the iHeart Radio Awards, because she'd rather be with Daddy at home making dinner and making out and probably having sex than going to the iHeart Radio Awards.
Granted, I mean, she's it's her off season. Like you don't want to go to that. That takes a lot of energy.
She gave us a glimpse
stay
of
home.
working out. She gave us a glimpse of playing. Who knew sales for a pickleball are going to go through the roof? She had a pickleball.
She was on a boat drinking with her friends.
But she had a pickleball.
The paddle, yeah.
Paddle.
She was on the paddle
Kansas
court.
City Chiefs paddle.
Oh yeah, it had the KC on it. Yeah.
On the boat drinking.
Wasn't she wearing? I feel like she was wearing another Chiefs thing at one point.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Good call. She was wearing the KC.
Yeah. I think when
something.
I think there also was. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was also like behind the scenes of her like recording music too, and she was wearing that. So.
Oh, how many times did you watch?
Probably like 13.
At least 13. Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
I love.
You had to, especially waiting for that music video. That's all you have. It's just.
Oh my God, it's so good. I really do feel like she's returning to the Taylor Swift we knew before she dated Joe Alwyn, because she used to post like behind the scenes kind of stuff like about her life all the time.
And she also would post on Instagram just for fun. Like wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, she posted so much photos of her and Calvin Harris.
And also just baking cookies or just baking cinnamon rolls.
We
just,
haven't seen this side of Taylor in so long.
Just a normal human being, you know.
Finally, she's allowed to post video with her boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, for 6 years she was
caged.
Yeah.
That's cute. We love it. So we have a Travis update for you. And the Travis update is controversial.
Yes.
Was Taylor, or was she not, saying in her song So High School, I don't know how to say this, that Travis was fingering her in another room while his friends were playing Grand Theft Auto. So the lyrics go, truth or dare, spin bottles, you know how to ball, I know Aristotle, brand new, full throttle, touch me while your boys play Grand Theft Auto, it's true, swear, scouts, honor, you know what you wanted, boy, you got her, brand new, full throttle, you already know, babe. So that's the bridge. And when you look up Scouts Honor online, it's this. She says in one of the parts of the lyrics that she was stifling her sighs because his friends were in the other room. Stifling sighs, fingers, getting fingered.
So this goes back to the Swifties, you know, just it really goes back to like the Who's Afraid of Little Old Me when the Bitchin' and Moanin'. That's and from Daddy I Love Him. It's so many
There's
songs.
a lot of
Anyways,
songs.
But it goes back to that where we're a little bit of a reach just a bit. I don't necessarily think that's what she was going for when she could have, but
you don't think?
No, I think that
you don't think that when she says she's stifling her sighs? What do you think that means? What do you think that means?
I mean,
What do you think that means?
I think it should just rhyme with what she's writing. I think that sometimes she sits there and she's like, this goes well together. Like you can't tell me
You're
Grand Theft
joking.
Auto and full
She doesn't
throttle.
write a song like Dress. I only bought this dress so you could take it off. And then the like
But this isn't so high school, right?
this is in so high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have sex for the first time and you're trying to hide the sounds of having sex.
I don't know. I also feel like she's in her like risky era, so she would have just flat out said it. I don't think she would hide it like that. I think it's a little bit of a stretch.
You think that the Tortured Poets department, she would have said, Travis is fingering me in the next room?
Honestly, yeah.
No, she's poetically saying how he's fingering her. She's not gonna be
Is
like
this
he's doing me doggy style.
there? So with Tortured Poets, it's more explicit than the rest of that.
Yeah,
almost
but
all
it's
of it.
very explicit in a poetry way.
But is so high school explicit? Because then I would believe it. But besides this, like I'm saying, I don't know. I don't necessarily.
Why do you want to keep her in a prude box?
It's not that I love Dress. Dress is my favorite song, but I don't think her saying Scout's honor is referring to that.
I think it is. I think if she's saying she's stifling her size.
Stifling her
Just
size,
answer
I'll
my
give
question.
you that.
What does she mean by stifling her size?
She is having trouble breathing for reasons that I do not personally know. Yeah, I don't. We could be anything. Maybe she got too intense. Grand Theft Auto playing too much.
Why are you? Taylor's allowed to have sex.
She's allowed to. She can do whatever she wants. I don't think.
I think she has made it clear that she's very sex positive, enjoys having sex, and she's been
but not with people in the other room and not
screaming it. In this case, she's trying to stifle those screams.
I think she'd do it in a different poetic way. I think it would be easier to read into than just this.
Mommy and Daddy are banging, and I like it.
Baby full, brand new, yeah, maybe. With the lyric, brand
Full
new,
throttle?
you already know, babe. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that song differently now.
That will do it for our Travis update, because that's really all we need. So let's move on to Tour Talk Theories, the Tortured Poets Department Theories segment of the day. So we talked. You weren't here on Friday when the album
for the
came out.
release. You have to take.
We went through a lot of theories. So I've listened to the album a lot, and my biggest theory, my biggest takeaway from the weekend
Mhm.
is that Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is about Miss Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
Let me walk you through the lyrics.
Tell me why before I tell you no.
Oh, jeez. Okay. The who's who of Who's That.
Mm-hmm.
So Who's Who is the up and coming of Who's That is like we don't really know her yet.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's the who's who of Who's That.
Yeah.
The up and coming, barely known Olivia Rodrigo.
Barely known?
I mean, but that's
No.
she was barely known. She was an up and comer who splashed onto the scene.
Yeah, but I mean, she's been in Disney for what? Before
Nobody knew about her. Nobody
you did not.
mainline. Nobody
Bizarre
here
part.
at TMZ talked about Olivia
true.
Rodrigo.
Well, because
Until driver's license.
yes, because
And then she blew up. Let me continue.
Anyway.
You don't get to tell me about Sad. She had the song called The Grudge, which everyone has speculated is about Taylor Swift. If you wanted me dead, you should have just said. The scandal was contained. Which scandal? The one about how she had to give credit to Taylor Swift in Deja Vu, Cruel Summer. The bullet just grazed. At all costs, keep your good name. She threw Taylor under the bus time and time again about how Taylor did her so wrong and that she kept saying like, there's no beef, there's no beef, there's no beef. She just wanted to continue to keep her name out of it and to continue to keep her good name. She goes on to say, you don't get to tell me you feel bad. I was tame, I was gentle till the circus life made me mean. Don't worry, folks. We took out all her teeth. And then here's where I didn't add the part where, hold on. You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me because when Taylor grew up, this battleground was brutal and tough and insane. and Olivia Rodrigo got to run because Taylor walked, and she trailblazed this entire path for Olivia Rodrigo. There's also a part in the song where it talks about how you're gonna sue me, or
Yeah, but the suing is specifically to the guy that was like stalking her and like tracking her jets.
no.
Because yes, that is like, I think this is not at all about Olivia, and I think this is about the media and the fans.
I think it's about the media and the fans, but I also think that this is shot after shot of Olivia Rodrigo.
I think Clara Bow is about Olivia Rodrigo. The end that you look like Taylor Swift.
Wrong
about
again.
Edge. No,
it's about
no.
Sabrina Carpenter.
No, Stevie Nicks is about Sabrina.
We're gonna get there.
Mm.
I have a whole segment dedicated to this. Don't that I'm always drunk on my own tears. Isn't that what they all said? That I'll sue you if you wanted to step on my lawn, that I'm fearsome, I'm wretched, and I'm wrong. Is that not what
So the lawn.
is that not what The Grudge was about? And how Olivia Rodrigo bitched and moaned about how Taylor Swift was gonna sue her if she didn't give her credit for Deja Vu?
Okay, I can I'm not saying you're totally wrong. I'm not saying you're totally wrong, but I do think that this is a huge stretch, and I'll tell you why. Because I think it's about her fans and about like showing up on her lawn, like going to places you shouldn't be going to. Jack Antonoff's wedding, the crowd outside the wedding.
But Taylor wasn't gonna sue anyone for showing up.
No, but I think she's like saying, like, using it as a threat. I think she's taking things from the Olivia thing, like of the fans that are bashing her for like suing or threatening to sue Olivia. I think she's taking that and making herself a villain in this song. I think it's like the poetic way of making herself the villain.
So what you're saying is I'm right.
No, I don't think you're right.
I think so.
I don't think so.
You just said she's taking stuff from the Olivia Rodrigo
from the
situation.
media. I don't think that there's beef between them. I truly don't think there's.
I think there is.
If there was beef,
Why did Olivia Rodrigo write The Grudge, and who's it about?
Okay, so that I have to take, like, then truly, you have an opinion there. I mean, you're kind of right there. I do need a little bit more time with that because I have been trying to figure that out. But then you don't have Taylor Swift go to I think it was the Grammys where Olivia sang Vampire. Why is Taylor cheering her on?
Because they're not. Taylor saw what happened with Bad Blood and Katy Perry. She's not going to outwardly
But she doesn't have to stand up and cheer for her and sing for her. She can literally just stand.
We know that Taylor Swift is going to change things and not name people. She said that in Thank You, Amy.
Yeah, but
she's gonna slyly take shots.
I think this is 100% aimed at her fans who, again, are reading too much into her stuff and like the sue me if you step on my lawn. The immediate thing I thought of is people tracking
Olivia
her
Rodrigo.
Jets. No, people tracking her jets and like stalking her and won't stop putting her in.
But she did send a cease and desist and said that I would sue you.
Yes,
Jack Sweeney.
100%, and go off Taylor. But anyways.
I don't think she's going to sue Olivia Rodrigo.
No.
Olivia Rodrigo is like, oh my God, she's going to sue me for stealing Deja Vu. Oh, Taylor's the worst person ever.
But I think that.
And now that's Taylor's commentary on Olivia Rodrigo.
But it also goes in the same song. She like talks, again, she's making herself the villain and she says, put narcotics in my songs. That's why you're all singing along. Going back to like, we're dissecting her music.
Right. I think she's saying that, like, no, not her fans in this particular case, is that, like, oh, all Taylor does is write about love and sadness and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, yeah, if I didn't, you wouldn't be still singing along, dumbass.
Yeah, well, but also, like, okay, so.
And, okay, let's talk about the asylum thing. She said, you wouldn't survive an hour in the asylum they put me in. Olivia Rodrigo would not have been able to survive and come up in the era that Taylor Swift did. Wrong or right?
I think wrong. I think that she kind of is. I think that she's getting, because she has so many Swifties going after her.
You weren't allowed to be vocal or as edgy then.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But because Olivia is edgier than Taylor was. But I also just think that's because they're two different people. And I think that's because like Olivia has her own aesthetic that Taylor never did at that age and even now.
We're going to move on to our Spotted segment, but we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're having Trent Clark guest on because he has some opinions about a big breaking news story over the weekend. People went after Taylor Swift for a lyric in her song titled I Hate It Here. And the lyric is, we wish we could live. My friends used to play a game where we would pick a decade. We wished we could live in instead of this, let me start over. My friends used to play a game where we would pick a decade we wish we could live. Instead of this, I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists and getting married off for the highest bid. So, Trent, people have come at Taylor Swift saying that there was still slavery, in the 1830s, and this is just an overall bad look for Taylor Swift.
Well, I mean, I guess if had she not put that line in there, people would have connected the dots and, would have said, Taylor is daydreaming about the time where she could have been a maiden queen in racism era. So,
Right.
it was kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't. But at the same time, it should have just been a damned if you don't. The lyric just shouldn't have been on there. Actually, the song probably shouldn't be on there. A lot of people are criticizing the album for having too many songs, and I think this is one of them that could have got cut. It actually sounds like a throwaway from Folklore, with the whole old time theme. So rightfully so. There's a lot of R&B fans dragging, Taylor, because, they thought they were going to hear some bops and, to hear someone, pretending like they're in, was it Bridgerton? It's kind of,
1830s.
It's kind of a weird take. So, yeah.
So Grayson was saying earlier, and I was think this too, is like a lot of people are commenting back like that's not what she meant. Like I think she just meant that she wished it could be simpler times and like without like all the stuff that came with that bad period of time, like just without the internet, without like social media, without the hate, blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, I guess we should write songs about changing the future, not living in the past.
That's a good point.
That's probably the best course of action.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, Trent. All right, so we don't have a lot of time. I just want to.
So you're saying Taylor should let me executive produce her next album?
100%.
Let's do it.
Would you like to?
Of course.
Okay. One more thing, and we'll let you go. People are up in arms because Post Malone wrote a very lengthy post thanking Taylor Swift for letting him collab with her on Fortnight. And then he'd also recently collaborated with Beyonce on Cowboy Carter and put up a post for that. And all he said was, "I love you, Beyonce." Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of lopsided. Beyonce is still the queen of the queen. She's still the top of the top, like until she decides to step down, like nobody, even including Taylor, will, supersede her. So for him to just give her, a one-liner, it doesn't feel genuine at all.
Is this giving racism at all?
No, it's not giving racism. It's giving, I would rather cater to Taylor Swift than, the Beyonce was probably just a feature that I really didn't care about. I mean, he's still on 2 #1 albums. I assume Taylor's going to go #1. So it's still a win-win for him.
Is that kind of what he's saying, though? I'm just catering to the song I actually care about?
Pretty much. I mean, I love you. Like Beyonce gets I love you in her comment section every second of every day. Someone is telling Beyonce, "I love you." So Post Malone could have had something a little bit more personal to say. They actually recorded a record together.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Trent. We're going to see you on the podcast soon. Thank you. Moving on. So our fun fact of the day, Sabrina Carpenter is going to play the Dazzler in Deadpool. So this is where we'll get into our Olivia Rodrigo versus Sabrina Carpenter situation. In the song Clara Bow, the lyrics are, you look like, in this light, you look like Taylor Swift.
She's got edge, you never did.
You never did. So I think this is referencing Sabrina Carpenter because she looks like Taylor Swift. Sabrina Carpenter does have edge, and she's like very sexual, very like forward in her songs, where it took Taylor Swift a very long time to get to that point. And then also, what's the last part of that lyric?
You're dazzling. It's you're dazzling. Yeah. Like that.
Something dazzling. So apparently there's a character in Deadpool called the Dazzler, and it's an Easter egg that Sabrina's gonna play the Dazzler in Deadpool, which makes sense because Sabrina went to see Travis Kelce play in New York against the New York Giants, and Ryan Reynolds was there.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is friends with Sabrina Carpenter. Olivia Rodrigo is not.
Yeah.
Did you follow all that?
Yes, because also it makes more sense for Sabrina to play Dazzler rather than like Taylor, because people thought that Taylor would.
And it also makes sense for Sabrina to play the Dazzler versus Olivia because Olivia is a foe.
More like, I think more like the Dazzler's a blonde. Like, the Dazzler looks like Sabrina Carpenter. It's easy for them to do that. The Dazzler's a singer in the comic books, and also like it matches more. Sabrina's acted, so as Olivia, but also like it looks more like Sabrina.
Very quickly, we hear you. Everyone in the comments, I said that The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is about Joe Alwyn. Everyone in the comments says, you're an idiot, do your research. It's about Matty Healy. The Jehovah's Witness suit. Buying drugs from friends. First of all, who says that Joe Alwyn doesn't do drugs? He's a Hollywood actor. Most Hollywood actors do drugs. Secondly, the whole bridge about how she said, are you going to write a book and come out 50 years? Matty Healy is not the kind of guy that's going to write a book. That's referring to actors. Actors are the ones that write books. And I think that she thinks that Taylor Swift is realizing that Joe Alwyn just used her to drive his acting career and fame. And I do think that Taylor Swift made it clear in this last portion of Eras Tours during her acoustic session that she was playing mashups because the songs are about two people. And I think that The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is about Matty Healy, but it's also about Joe Alwyn.
I agree with that. I was gonna say, I think if you're saying it's about also Joe, I think you have to add in there are parts
that are
for
about Matty.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the songs on this album are both.
I think this is my biggest point that I've epiphanied this weekend is that Death by a Thousand Cuts has now become about Joe. And I think she's littered this entire album with cuts about Joe throughout the album. That she is bringing Death by a Thousand Cuts alive because that's how her relationship actually ended. It was a slow death, and she put a 1,000 cuts of Joe in the Tortured Poets department.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. That is something I will agree with. Yeah.
Yeah?
Finally gotten to agree. Yeah.
Any comment?
With that, there's also, I look in people's windows with that also has the kind of same similar tone to Death by a Thousand Cuts. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We can end this on agreeing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have a comment, leave a comment. If you hated this, if you disagree, leave a comment. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple and Spotify. Thank you. Bye-bye.